Why, hello there, and welcome to the long-term review of the Pirelli Scorpion 29x2.6 trail case tyres. And by long-term review, I mean 3.5 years. Yep, they both lasted 3.5 years with only one puncture on the rear. That is a damn good life. So a bit of background context. This is my main mountain bike / review bike, a 2020 Trek Fuel EX 9.8 Project 1 called Jaeger. And I got this very early, just before the pandemic really kicked into gear in April. And initially when I first received the bike from the Trek factory, I had the standard Bontrager XR5 team issue front, XR4 team issue back on the 29x2.6 that it came with stock. But then a few weeks afterwards, I got the upgrade package I was after, which was putting in Mariposa rim invaders into the wheels, putting in the grip 2 damper into the fork, and of course getting these lovely Pirelli Scorpions with the medium on the front and the R compound on the back. And aside from that one puncture, these tyres have never left this bike. So for 3.5 years, where have these tyres gone? They've gone to Derby twice. They've gone to Bright numerous times. They've gone to Beechworth, Yangs, Medina, a lot of cross-country tracks around Australia, southern Australia. They've been to Fox Creek over in Adelaide. They've been down Mount Tarangaro, a downhill track near Bendigo. They have been a lot of places. Obviously nothing that's a double black diamond downhill course, but by having that medium compound at the front and the R compound on the rear, they have done their job very well. So that being said, what do I like and what needs to be improved? Well, probably has been improved with the Pirelli Scorpions. I'd have to say what I definitely like is how well they wear compared to how soft the tyre compound is. I have been able to pull off many different riding trips with these tyres thanks to being able to pump them up a bit firmer for more cross-country tracks, and obviously let down the pressure for the more wet and wild and loamy trails. Of course, you could just have a hard compound for the hard pack and the soft compound for the loam and the wet, but that's why feasibly and realistically I bought the medium for the front. The rear has done a champion job. Puncture resistance, durability. The tread is not too bad still. As I've more or less progressed or regressed into cross-country riding in my 30s, how it's worn from a very aggressive sort of minion compound into something resembling an Ardent, the base Ardent, or even a Recon. I like how the tyre is still performing. And honestly, if it wasn't for wanting or needing to go on the trips to much more technical places to get my groove back, I don't know, I really would have kept pushing these tyres even further. I really do like them. The wear characteristics, as I'm starting to see that they put doubles into Trail 9, what the heck? The wear characteristics have been I do not have bald tyres. I have tyres that are still fully capable of taking on hardcourt. I've done rock slab climbs early on in this video that are off screen, but it was still handling those really well. I would say that due to the wear characteristics and where they've gone to be sort of, I don't know, a recon at the front and an ardent on the back, it hasn't been overly suitable for wet weather riding, and I wouldn't be taking on really loamy conditions. Apologise for the insulin pump. With how the tyres have worn in to be relatively successful cross-country / trail tyres versus when they started off as enduro / trail tyres, I don't mind that at all. Obviously, if you're more competitive than I am, or if you ride, say, 200 kilometers per week on enduro trails, yeah, your mileage is going to vary. That's absolutely right. But for the average rider, I think these have held up really well. So, what am I therefore not a fan of? Ow. Stubbing my toe is definitely something I'm not a fan of. I'd say that I'm not a fan of how there were a lot of factory defects coming out of these tyres when I got mine. I might have gotten incredibly lucky and had 110% rubber put in, and that's been great. But my mate Kingsley, he had 2 mediums in 29x2.4 on his Trek Top Fuel, and he burnt through those things like nothing else. You would have thought he was doing skids in the car park, but he just got absolutely rotten luck. So the defect rate of these earlier models was a bit hit and miss, but I haven't heard any complaints since, so maybe they fixed it. So how do you conclude a long-term review on the Pirelli Scorpion 29x2.6 trail casing that were manufactured back in 2020, a time where these were brand new to the market? Well, you have to say it's great that I'm only really getting rid of them because I just want to try something different. Unlike with my Ardents that were on my Giant Stance 27.5, or my Recons that were on the Surly Karate Monkey, where they wore through, they started handling rat shit and started getting too many punctures. It's nice to retire a set of tyres on a high note. Like even today, I have no fault with these tyres. I could ride 100 more laps if I weren't so diabetic and fat, and they would still keep going. They're just really great tyres, and I sincerely hope that they still make the tyres to this quality to this day. As I launch and try to get into the turn, I'm still terrible at jumping, some things never change. But yeah, to conclude the review, you have to say that these are my all-time favourite tyres that I've ever had. Better than Ardents, better than the Recons. I just adore what these tyres have done for me across the past 3.5 years. Like, they are almost as integral to this bike as the frame itself. Like, I feel like I should not be parting ways with tyres, and that is strange for a mountain biker to say, but that's how much I love these tyres. So more videos from the Adelaide trip still to come. Yeah, I have a back catalogue that I need to get around to editing, but hopefully I won't be gone for too much longer compared to last time. So until next time, keep riding and stay awesome.